Hey everyone, welcome back to Trivia Bench, where we dive into the greatest moments and players in the fun world of all things sports. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a goal, stat, or storyline. What is a career in the NHL without risk? Hockey is one of the fastest, most physical sports in the world. With blades on ice, 20-plus mile-per-hour collisions, and boards that don't budge, one hit can change everything. Not every injury ends a career, of course. But some hits are so devastating, so consequential, that the player simply never plays another NHL game again. Today, on Trivia Bench, we look back at 5 unforgettable career-ending body checks or injuries from NHL history. These aren't just injuries. They are turning points frozen in time, moments that shaped careers, teams, and even league discussions around player safety. Let's get started. 1. Pat Peake, 1996, New York Rangers. Promising careers are the most painful to lose, and few stories reflect that better than Pat Peake. A first-round pick, second overall in 1991, Peake had a blend of speed, skill, and fearlessness that made scouts rave about his potential. But on March 4, 1996, in a game against the Florida Panthers, Peake pursued a puck into the corner. Panthers defenseman Gord Murphy delivered a clean but unforgiving hit. Peake slammed shoulder first into the boards with brutal force. The impact tore nerves in his shoulder and neck, triggering damage that would ripple through the rest of his life. The injury was catastrophic, largely because it wasn't just muscle or bone. It was nerve trauma, the kind that won't heal with surgery alone. Peake attempted to rehab, but the NHL would never see him again. He officially retired in 1997 at only 25 years old. A man drafted to become a franchise cornerstone played just 110 NHL games. Peake's injury remains one of the most tragic what-if stories in hockey. His hit didn't break the rule book, but it broke a career. 2. Trent McCleary, 2000, Montreal Canadiens. Not all career-ending moments are body checks into the boards. Some are freak accidents that feel almost impossible. On January 14, 2000, Canadiens winger Trent McCleary stepped in front of a shot, something he'd done countless times as a defensively responsible forward. This time, the puck caught him square in the throat. The impact crushed his larynx and nearly killed him. Players from both teams waved frantically for medical attention. Within seconds, he was rushed off the ice, struggling to breathe, losing consciousness. McCleary survived after emergency surgery, but the damage ended his NHL career immediately and permanently. Blocked shots are now treated with a different weight when fans think back to his injury. McCleary never complained about the sport or the risk. When asked, he mostly expressed gratitude that he lived. But despite his recovery from the life-threatening moment, he never played another NHL game. His career officially ended at age 28, after 151 games played. 3. Brad McCrimmon, 1983. Hit, ramifications, Calgary Flames. Brad McCrimmon is remembered by many as one of hockey's most beloved and respected defensemen, both during his playing career and later as a coach. But an injury early in his career foreshadowed long-term damage that eventually contributed to the end of his NHL playing days. In 1983, while playing for the Calgary Flames, McCrimmon endured a heavy open-ice body check. The hit itself didn't end his career on the spot, but it worsened underlying back trauma that he battled for the remainder of his time in the league. Over the years, McCrimmon's chronic back pain became debilitating. Medical technology in the 1980s wasn't equipped to repair or sustain long-term spinal damage the way it can now. The injury wore him down physically until he could no longer function at NHL intensity, ultimately concluding his playing career in 1989. McCrimmon transitioned into coaching and later tragically passed away in 2011 in the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl plane crash. While his official retirement wasn't tied to one single collision, it underscores an era when players fought through spinal injuries until the body simply said no more. 4. Eric Lindros. Concussions that altered a superstar's path. Few NHL stars carried more raw power than Eric Lindros, and few saw their careers reshaped more dramatically by injury. His dominant physical style made him a target every night. and a series of concussions ultimately changed everything. The first major blow came in 1998 on a heavy open ice hit from Darius Kasparaitis. But the moment fans remember most is the 2000 Eastern Conference Final, when Scott Stevens delivered one of the hardest open ice checks the league has ever seen. Lindros cut through the middle with his head down, and the collision left him concussed and motionless on the ice. He continued playing for several more seasons, but the repeated head trauma took its toll. The unstoppable force of the mid-90s was never quite the same again. Lindros' injuries became a wake-up call for the NHL, accelerating conversations about concussion protocols and player safety that still shape the modern game. 5. Cam Neely, Ulf Samuelsson. Hit 1991, Boston Bruins. This is perhaps the most famous entry on the list. Cam Neely was Boston hockey royalty. A wrecking ball winger capable of crushing opponents and scoring goals in batches, Neely embodied the power forward archetype before the term even became mainstream. In the 1991 playoffs, Neely skated up ice toward Pittsburgh Penguins defenseman Ulf Samuelsson. Samuelsson stepped in and delivered a low, forceful, knee-targeted hit. It was violent, precise, and ruthless. Neely fell awkwardly and immediately clutched his knee. The hit tore the medial collateral ligament and caused permanent trauma. Neely missed the entirety of the 1991-92 season. He tried to come back, and he did. Sort of. He played sparingly over the next few years, even scoring 50 goals in 44 games during the 1993-94 season, a ridiculous scorer's mirage that masked his long-term decline. But the knee injury never softened its grip. The pain became unbearable. His Boston Bruins career was essentially over the moment the hit landed. He officially played his final NHL game in 1996 and retired in 1999 at age 34. Neely's injury sparked some of the loudest conversations ever heard around punishing knee-on-knee hits. Even today, Samuelsson's name still carries booze in Boston. Hockey's speed is poetry. Hockey's contact is punctuation. And sometimes one sentence ends the story. These 5 players and their career-ending injuries remind us just how fragile even the toughest careers can be. Cleaner hits, better equipment, enhanced arena safety, expanded concussion protocols. The NHL learned from moments like these. But no matter how much the game evolves, the danger is, and always will be, part of hockey's identity. I hope you enjoyed this video. Would you like to keep me fueled so I can keep making more? You can buy me a coffee by going to the link in the description. If you enjoyed this look back at NHL history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more sports trivia from Trivia Bench.